political crisis in River State may be thawing gradually as Governor Fubara has invited the embattled 27 members of the State House of Assembly for discussion by way of putting the interests of the state first. In a letter by the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Tammy Danagogo, addressed to the Speaker, Martins Amewule, he stated that the Governor's action was in obedience to the recent Supreme Court judgment on the political crisis in the state. The Supreme Court had last Monday stopped the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Accountant General of the Federation from releasing any funds from the Federation account to River State until an appropriation law was made by the River State Assembly. The governor is said to have received a certified true copy of the Apex Court judgment, and on Friday, through his SSG, invited the lawmakers to chart a way forward for the state. The letter stated that the invitation was in furtherance of the governor's promise, noting that he had received the Supreme Court judgment. Right, CTC is out now, Rufai.
Yeah.
And Dr. Bati. And of course, right from the very beginning, Governor Fubara had maintained that he was going to respect the rulings of the Supreme Court, which, like I already opined, that the fact that we're celebrating that in itself is worrying. And that should be the natural thing that should happen. The court judgment is given, the governor ought to obey it. But we know what's happened in recent times. What do you take on this story this morning?
I took our time to read Professor Chidi Kalu's review of the judgment, and these were his points this morning. You know, he's a legal mind, and he has read through the CTC. He said, ordering the central bank to withhold River State share of the Federation account is best as a rogue order that punishes the people for a dispute between politicians. It violates the maxim that equity regards the beneficiary as the true owner. Their right to share of the Federation is antecedent to and independent and unconnected with the dispute in this case. Being aware, another point, of the ongoing litigation on the legal consequence of the defection of a Amawale faction of the House, the Supreme Court short-circuited a contingent appellate process and issued this position on a dispute that was neither before it nor necessary up for determination of issues that it was called upon to decide. In doing so, the court chose to, with a touch of injudicious shamelessness, accept the invitation to take sides. Another point, the Supreme Court announced a revolutionary jurisprudence in the judicial fly, claiming that where there is a dispute, a defection, the legislature can be the only one. Only the legislature can declare a seat vacant for defection and not the governor of the state. Not even the courts can do so. It takes a heedless audacity for an apex court to castrate the judiciary. That's the apex courts, this is exactly what the courts did. What this court did is in line with, that's what the court did. The line is, that's exactly what the court did with this line in italics. When the Supreme Court laid out the contrary principle in 2015, it was by a panel of 7 justices. So I think this really aggregates the concerns a lot of people have had about this judgment. With this letter, some clarity I would just want to seek. Is it that the case at the Federal High Court for the determination of what will constitute defection will be pushed down? Is it that the lawmakers, all of a sudden, that at first threatened impeachment, will shake their sword? Will Fubara be able to buy them to his side? Do you think these lawmakers, all of a sudden, will stop being loyal to Governor Wike that had gone with them on this journey and all of a sudden be loyal to Fubara in the interest of Rivers people? The Yorubas will say, Agbedo. I doubt that will happen. So as long as all of these issues are still there, it's still going to be a cat and mouse race. And until we get to a point where we don't have godfathers reign supreme in our affairs and our politics, the people will not be free. Because it's also, and the case will constantly be about the godfathers and their godsons at the expense of the people, no matter what we say. I rest my case on all these points.
Thank you very much.
Okay, very quickly. Yeah, I appreciate the comments that you quoted coming from a legal mind. Now, in faculties of law, they teach you legal reasoning. They teach you legal methods. They also tell you don't comment on a judgment that you have not read. the CTC. Judicial review is part of the process. However, I think that what is more important in this particular case is stability, peace in Rivers State, because it is the people of Rivers State who are holding the short end of the stick. If there are any disagreements with whatever the Supreme Court has said, it is the Supreme Court that can reverse itself. It is within the rights of the Rivers State government to study the judgment, now that the government has admitted publicly that they have received the certified true copy of the judgment. I don't know why it takes forever for Nigerian courts to release the certified true copy. But the governor now says he has the CTC of the judgment. So he has an idea of what is involved. And the state government says they will get their lawyers to look at that to know what possible next steps will be. But as a preliminary first step, the governor had made it clear, that Fubara, Governor Fubara, that he will respect the ruling of the court, which is what we talk about. You know, we had a guest here who was saying no matter how stupid the ruling of the court is, once you are properly served and you have a copy of the ruling, you are obliged to respect the ruling of the court. You can go back and seek interpretation or seek an appeal, whatever circumstances may apply. In keeping with that, Governor Fubara has gone ahead to suspend the October 5, 2024 pro-Fubara chairmen that were elected and asked them to hand over to the heads of administration in the, I think, 23 local government areas. Number two, he has also now reached out to members of the House of Assembly to say, well, the Martin Amewule 27-member pro-Wike group, that he would like to meet with them 10 a.m. this morning. That's what the story says. Number three, he has also said, look, all of this should be in the interest of the state. However, I've read a report in which the lawmakers are saying that the governor has no right to summon them, that they gave him 48 hours ultimatum within which he should represent the budget of the House of the State of Rivers. The same budget that he had presented previously to Honorable Okojumbo, a four-man assembly, the 2024 budget and 2025 budget. Now that 48 hours ultimatum expired. Now some members of the House of Assembly in Rivers are saying that the only business that they have this morning is not for them to be summoned by the governor. It is for the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RCEC, to come before them and come and discuss with them when the next local government elections would be held. Three, some sources from the Rivers State House of Assembly are saying that they consider it infradigitatem, that the governor will want to invite them, and it will be Dr. Tami Danagogo, the secretary to the state government, that will be the one signing a letter to them. That even the governor has no respect for them, he should have been the one to invite them. However, in all of this, what it shows is that there is still a lot of unease in Rivers State. Our own intervention is to appeal to the various gladiators that, well, the governor seems to be eating the humble pie and is reaching out to the other gladiators in the fight, and he said, well, the court has ruled. Can we meet, discuss, and move forward in the interest of the state? I think that everyone that has a dog in this fight, or that is a dog in this fight, should realize that the more important people are the people of Rivers, who will not be well served if they don't get federal allocations, who will not be well served if there is crisis at the local government level. Finally, is the issue about the Ijaw National Congress and the IYC. There's also, that's the Ijaw Youth Council. There's an issue there. There is a group now that has come forward to say that, look, either the IJC or the IYC cannot say that there will be chaos in Rivers State because there's a plan to impeach Governor Fubara. Their own argument is that the Supreme Court judgment does not talk about impeachment of Fubara. And why are people eating up the polity, saying that they will sabotage the energy sector as predominantly located in that state, as it were, as they claim, because they want to support Ijaw cause. So a group of Ijaws have also come forward and said, let peace reign in Rivers State. Our own final submission is to say that it shall be well with Rivers State, and let the people ensure that it is well with Rivers State.
Let peace reign in Rivers State, absolutely. So after 2 years of this back and forth and the fight between the gladiators, it looks like we now are beginning to see maybe a way forward if the principal actors are able to agree on certain things. As it was, this is not the first time that Governor Fubara has said, he would rather take the line of peace rather than, go against what the court has said or what people, at least an arbitration committee, as it were then, has come to the conclusion in order to maintain peace and order in the state. Recall that when they had that high-level meeting with the president, with some River State elders and the minister of the FCT in tow, with the agreements that were signed, he had come out to say that he was going to, and even made some moves to adhere to some of the agreements made from that meeting. Unfortunately, that was short-lived. And now we're here again, but this time it is a substantive court, the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, that has ruled. And he's saying that he will again obey the rulings of the court in order for peace to reign. So he seems to be a man of peace, who would rather, some people might look at it in another way, because why take us through all this if you know we're going to end up here at the end of the day? He's called for a meeting with the 27 lawmakers. Whether people say or not that the Supreme Court didn't say that he would be impeached, people already understand. They can read the writings on the wall, especially because of the conflict that has existed between him and his godfather, Governor Wike, whom these 27 Rivers lawmakers are in support of. What we'll now hopefully see in the next few days is him representing that, the budget of the state, so that at least we can get funds into the state and the people don't have to suffer as a result of, the political higi-haga that has happened in the state thus far. The second thing, of course, that would need to happen is for the elections to be run again. There are concerns around, again, having a management committee or an interim committee or government for the local government areas in the state. So that's also another thing you would have to face, aside from the politics of him being or remaining as governor and trying to now mend fences or at least have some sort of working relationship with the lawmakers. Also, I think it would be nice for the lawmakers to clarify where they belong. So are they now have they confirmed now that they are members of the APC? Are they still in the PDP? What is the conversation around? And then would this also be an opportunity, as we know that the APC is looking for more members to join, for them to entice or attract the governor to perhaps join their state? Recall that there was at a point the PDP had to come, the leaders of the PDP had to visit visit Governor Fubara in Rivers State to try and maintain peace, because it seemed as if he might have been considering a shift. Would that still be on the tables? But beyond all the politicking around this, I think the most important thing, since he has now said he's going to obey, I mean, he had, like I mentioned, there shouldn't have been a choice in the matter anyway. But since he's now making efforts and making moves, not just paying lip service to it, is to see how the people can now begin to enjoy good governance after 2 years of his election into office, whereby he's not being distracted by fighting powers that be, whether in Abuja or anywhere else, and for him to actually face the matter of governance and attend to the needs of the people in the state. He said he's going to pay the backlogs of the salaries, allowances of the lawmakers. So in that way, trying to broker peace, or at least extend an olive branch to them. Will they take the olive branch, or are they going for the jugular in this instance, and until they get to the end of this matter, will they give up? So at the end of the day, I think on both sides of the divide, each part has a role to play. Governor Fubara has extended that hand of peace. I hope that the other side will be willing to take it, and let's move forward with this Rivers crisis and let the people of the state enjoy the dividends of democracy and good governance.